Hello, fellow Pipers. Typing Piper here. Doing that J.J. Abrams thing again. Okay, so it is currently March 11th, and last night at about 10 p.m., funny, 2 hours after all the voting booths closed statewide, so that Biden could win delegates or some crap, Whitmer, our illustrious governor in the state of Michigan, was like, hey, by the way, we have 2 confirmed cases in the state of Michigan. Which is funny because for the longest time they weren't even testing anybody because, they had certain criteria that they had to qualify for, and one of them was not the possibility of community spread. So, kind of surprised that happened. One of them is definitely community spread, and the other was somebody who had traveled outside of the country. But more on that. So, a couple days ago, I was told by one of my best friends, his wife. Hold on, I have to read that. Okay, so my best friend and his wife still work at a hospital. And she has a coworker who knows somebody in the Michigan Department of Health. And apparently they have known for a while that this disease is here, and they have kept their mouths shut. One of those situations, again, where, friends and family find out before everybody else, because that's how things go. Then to top it off, there's a woman I know downtown who works across the street from where I work, and she has somebody she knows that works in the CDC. And they're basically saying this is a lot worse than anybody is letting on. That's great. So some things that we know as of right now. Well, Italy, their mortality rate is 6.3%, which is a lot higher than the common flu. And this is a country with a modern healthcare system, and they're on complete freaking lockdown now. Let's see here. The mayor of New York City, I think it was the mayor, maybe it was the governor, called in the National Guard to lock down a neighborhood in New York. Nobody's going in and out. Apparently soldiers are delivering food to the people who are quarantined. Do you see where this is going? On the upside, kids don't seem to be affected by this disease, which I'm pretty thankful for. As for the YTPC, smokers, we're fucked. Now, granted, saying that, older men, this was found in China, 55 on up, older men who, that age range had a large group of people who smoked. Now, pipe smoking in China, don't know if that's a thing. Cigars, who knows? Cigarettes, oh hell yeah. So, hate to be the one to say it, but maybe temporarily we should, as individuals, consider changing our habits. Maybe stockpiling some Penzance or Margate or whatever it is that you're into, and saving that for a later date. Let's see, as somebody who has worked in healthcare, I'm concerned. I'm glad to find out that my kids are not necessarily at risk with this, but I also work in an environment where the public come in and out free at will. Um, we deal with people who don't have the best hygiene on the planet. Um, it's we're also finding that we are very limited when it comes to supplies and what we have to use in order to keep things sterilized. Um, I I'm not sure, but I believe we're trying to get our hands on more disinfectant. And from what I saw, we don't really have that much to work with at the moment. Uh, we also learned yesterday that vinyl gloves, um, we are not able to order them right now. And there is no date in the foreseeable future as to when those will be available to order. So there's a good question as to what do we do when we run out of gloves. Um, it's it's like one thing after another. So yesterday, I went to work pretending it's here. What would I do differently? How would I go about my usual routine? Uh, Under the idea that um, coronavirus is in Michigan, and we have one of those big backpack sprayers. If you can fit, like, I think it's like 5 or 10 gallons of solution in it. Has the side pump on it, and I freaking hosed down the bathrooms that I had to clean. So, like, walls, toilets, floors, sinks, everything was soaked down in disinfectant, and which is exactly what I'm going to be doing until I can't do it anymore. Um, it's there's been this question of like, how long are we going to stay open, and uh, what happens when we don't have the materials that we need in order to keep the environment safe for employees and patrons. And at one point I just said, hey, if we don't have what we need, go home. At this point, I'm expecting maybe not as soon as people would think, but at some point we're going to start seeing places closing down, public facilities, stores will remain open. I could see Whitmer in all of her her wisdom to do something stupid like close down schools. And like I already said, children do not seem to be affected by this disease. And the other thing to keep in mind is that 30% on average of nurses and medical staff have children, children of the age who are in school. If their kids are not in school, who's watching them? Are these people going to go to work worrying that they're going to bring something home to their kids who are not at school? So it's a sticky situation, and I don't think schools should be closed under the circumstances. Certain teachers are probably going to be more at risk. One thing I'm going to suggest that where I work is certain employees who fit a certain demographic should probably not be coming to work for this foreseeable future, just for their own sake. And I highly doubt anybody's going to listen to me. So that is where we're at. I'm glad I made the food run and bought the things that I did when I did. Who knows where this is going to go? My concerns for myself involve more of the lack of sleep variety, which tends to lower your immune system. Um, you know, I did buy a box of cigars for when Thor was born. Sunday, I finally sat on the porch and was able to enjoy one of those. I have a feeling that's probably going to be the last time I smoke for a while. After this, I'm probably going to pack up a lot of the stuff that I have and then just store it away because, the risk involved. I'm not even a chronic smoker, so I don't even know like if it's something to necessarily worry about. But if it's going to raise your chances, especially with where I work, might as well just pack it away. Enjoy it later. When I can enjoy it later, because I didn't die. So other people who seem to be at risk with this disease, and when I list this off, think of yourself, think of people you know, family members, friends, um, people who are going to be at risk for this. Obesity, one of them. Smokers, like I already said. People who with already compromised immune systems. Anybody, well, they're saying it's like an elderly disease, but Italy's starting to see more patients in like the 40-year range. And they even intubated a 20-year-old who came into the hospital. So they're starting to see younger people coming down with this and having more severe reactions from it. That's something to consider. Another issue that keeps coming up is people who are on medications that keep them going, keep them alive. There's 150 different medications that people depend on in the United States for different ailments that they consistently have to take. All of them are generic. Almost none of them are produced here in the United States. India shut down all of their exports of medical equipment, medications to foreign countries so that they can battle it where they're at, which means we're not getting any of those. Somebody would like a sandwich. Hold on. Okay, so if you have anybody in your family or friends who rely on certain medications, tell them to go get the refills now. Who knows how long it's going to be on the shelf. So if you can do that, that'd be your best bet. Make sure you have any medications that you need or other people who rely on them. Make sure that they get their stuff. And because everything I just listed off is basically my wife's entire family. So that's about it for me. I'm glad to see that politics won out on this one, and we have an incompetent governor who decided to not announce the fact that the public is in danger so that Joe Biden can lose to Trump. I don't know. I don't see anybody, I just hope both of them get the goddamn coronavirus. They're both of that age. It'd be fitting. That's why I voted for Tulsi Gabbard. So I hope everyone's doing well. You know, I would suggest getting supplies and stuff while you can. If you like Twinkies, get your goddamn Twinkies. Don't be like that guy in Zombieland. Go out and buy your damn Twinkies. Keep on typing.